What about getting more out of that glass of wine? You know, there's a lot you can do to actually take an ordinary, not real expensive bottle of wine and make it taste like $1,000,000. And Therese from Wine Premier is going to show us. Take a look.
I want to share the secret with you of how to taste wine properly. A lot of people get together with their friends and they just sip their wine and they're just chatting along, not really thinking about what's in their glass. And the way that you taste it properly is you always want to smell the wine before you taste it. I always give the example of you're making a pot of spaghetti sauce and you don't just dig in and try it. Usually you smell it first. And the reason you smell it first is 75% of what you taste is what you smell. So you want to smell it to get all your senses ready for what it's going to taste like. So we're going to smell our wine first. And then we're going to swirl the wine around in your glass. Now, if it's hard to keep it moving like this, some people put it on the counter and just kind of swirl it, get it going. You can either keep it down there or you can pick it back up. It's hard to spill it out of the glass, so don't worry about that. Swirl it around and you stop and you smell it again. It really changes the aroma of the wine. And the reason for it is the air opens the wine up. You've heard people say this wine needs to breathe, this wine is tight, it's not ready yet. Well, the more you swirl it, the more it opens up. And you can just tell because every time you do it, you can just smell that much more of the wine. Okay, then you look at the glass and you see the different, the legs that are forming on the wine. It's basically what's dripping down the side of the wine. And that's a combination of the alcohol and the sugar. It forms a glycerin that slips off your glass. And the reason you want to look at that is the heavier the strips are or the legs are that come down the glass, the heavier and fuller body it's going to taste. So now we're getting our senses ready for what this wine is going to taste like. We haven't even tasted it yet. So we've smelled it. We've swirled it, we've looked at it, now we're going to taste it. And we're going to taste it 3 times. The first time, just as if you're chatting with your friends, not even thinking about it, just take a little sip of the wine. And this is how most people drink their wine. It goes right down the middle of your throat. Now the next time you taste it, you put some wine in your mouth. It's called chewing the wine. And you swirl it all over your mouth, because you have different taste points for bitter, sweet, sour in your mouth, and you want to get this wine spread all over so you can really taste the wine. This works with coffee, martinis, orange juice, anything you drink, it will make a difference. So I'll put a little bit in my mouth, and I know it looks funny, but it really tastes different. I can taste it way up here and way in the back of my mouth, and I didn't the first time. Now, the last thing that you're going to do is put a little bit of wine on your tongue and go, you're doing this in your mouth and you're really opening up the wine. So you put a little bit in your mouth. Again, I know it sounds funny, but wow, you can really taste this wine. This is an amazing glass of wine, and I think I would have missed a lot of the flavors if I hadn't gone through all of those steps of smelling the wine, looking at the wine, understanding what it's going to taste like, and then chewing the wine and adding the air. It really makes a difference. And this is an amazing glass of wine. I probably would have missed a lot of the flavors if I hadn't gone through all of those steps. So enjoy your wine.